Welcome back to my channel. Denise here from the Crafty DIYer. I've got some flips for you today. Let's get right to it. So whenever I'm at the thrift store, I always look in the glassware and I'm always looking for a cloche. And I got lucky this time because I actually picked up two. I took some clay and I made a mold and I'm just going to glue it onto the dome. And then I love hardware. I have quite a stash of hardware pieces that I'm always picking up. And this is one of them that I found and I thought it was perfect for this cloche. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to my second cloche. And all the products that I'm using here today, you can find in the link below this video. Mold is called the Rosette mold and I'm using air dry clay. So we're going to glue this on. I'm using a clear glue because I was putting it on glass, but it doesn't set as fast as construction adhesive. So what I would suggest, if you're going to be doing this, just tape it for probably maybe 15-20 minutes and let that dry. I would also suggest for you to dry it completely, let it sit overnight if possible, before you go to your next step, because we're going to add some gold to this. To add the hardware, I am using the construction adhesive by Gorilla. And you're going to let everything sit. Let the clay sit overnight, let the hardware sit before we move on to our next step. I'm adding some gold wax now. And this is called Golden Rule. And I'm just taking the brush and applying it. It is so simple and so easy. And this is really going to make it pop and look antique. I'm adding some dark wax, which is a brown wax. And this is just going to tone the gold down and make it look more vintage. Most times they do not come with the base, so you got to be a little creative. You can use glassware, trays. I found this round disc and I'm just going to paint it. I'm going to distress it and then I am going to wax it because I used clay-based paint, which you need to seal. This is White Swan. So I waxed it. And this is what I'm going to use for the base of one of my cloches. So everything you see here is from a thrift store, even this little cute elephant, which I broke after taking this picture. I'm so sad. That little owl is what you just saw in that cloche. And I went ahead and I painted him with White Swan. And I did the exact same thing. I distressed him. And then I put some clear wax and he'll be good to go. And how cute is that? So with this frame, I'm going to paint it and distress it and wax it. I'm using White Swan. And then I'm also going to use the ephemera transfer and we're going to apply it to the mixed media paper. Are they not the most beautiful roses you've ever seen? I just love this transfer. It's so beautiful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the glass that came in the frame and I'm just going to trace it out and we're going to cut out the paper with the transfer and we're going to add it to the frame. You can find glassware so inexpensively and you can simply just add some buttons like I'm doing here. You tie a little bow around it and now you have a sweet little jar. It will hold your buttons that you're going to craft with and it looks pretty. I don't know about you, but it took me a very long time to find this bag of buttons. In the comments below, let me know, is there something that you are looking for that you just cannot find? When I saw this apothecary jar in my thrift store, I might have screamed a little bit. I put that in my cart because this is the first time I've ever seen one in a thrift store. So I grabbed it. I'm going to add a bow. I'm going to do like a shabby bow. And this is material, so it's like a cloth or a muslin. And I just cut strips up and ripped it so I get that fray look. And I didn't want to hot glue the bow straight to the glass because I might want to change this out seasonally. So I just tied a piece of the material and I hot glued the bow to the material. Of course, I never pay full price for bling. Little tip here is when you go to the thrift store, there's usually a bag of jewelry that they can't sell. Grab those bags because you never know what's in there. In one of those bags was this ring. And I don't wear rings, so I'm just going to cut the band off and then I'm going to hot glue it to the material. So this project went through a lot of changes. I actually kept changing my mind on how I wanted it to look. So I'm going to kind of take you through the process because I think it's important, because not all projects go smoothly and sometimes you just need to kind of go through it. Here I'm going to be adding these roses, and if you look at the back of the video, it's actually a wreath that I got from the thrift store. I got it for $1. But it was broken. So I've taken the roses off and I'm going to reuse them onto this project. So it's at this point when I realized I didn't necessarily like the roses and the lace underneath. So what I did was I just trimmed that lace so you don't see it. And then we're just left with the roses and that trail of lace. And the idea for this one was just to fill it with some vintage lace. You can see it through the jar. It works out as good storage and it makes pretty decor. Let me know in the comments below if this has inspired you today. And which one is your favorite? Do you have a favorite? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe if you haven't already. And stay tuned for the next video because it's going to be a good one.